it is easily done now, given electronic voting and the rest. We can physically do it much easier than we could in the old days, where we'd have to count paper ballots and add them all up and do all this stuff. We can now do it instantly. And it is a potential in the future, but like I say, it's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen in 2020. Like I say, if we get a new government everywhere in 2020, we might start having the discussion, what's the best way to run an election? And we wouldn't necessarily stay with all the methods we have currently. And that's one of them. It's interesting and sophisticated. There was one last question. Yes. Oh, two last. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Either one of you.
Okay. So, yeah, it's very pleasing that the Democrats won the House, but it seems to me it also has opened up this problem that the Democrats have, the tension between the progressive wing and the more moderate wing of the party. And I'm just, in terms of 2020, I just want to win.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, whatever we need to do to win. And I worry about this tension.
Yeah, I've heard other commentators come to the conclusion that the likely winning Democratic candidate, the one that emerges as the Democratic Party candidate in 2020, is not likely to be a Bernie Sanders or even Elizabeth Warren, but Sherwood from Ohio or someone else who has some combination.
That's my instinct too, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, we have to still win, whoever it is. I'm just saying, there are a lot of people who have the view that, we want to win and we want somebody that's reasonably progressive, reasonably pragmatic, can speak, can be a difference to Trump and can win. And some candidate convincing people that they're that one is probably what will win out for the Democrats when it's all done. But who that is, I'm not going to predict today. It's worse than the mayoral race in terms of how many candidates are running around loose. Everybody thinks they could be president. There are probably candidates here in this room, but it isn't true. So we have to sort that, and the sorting is going to start. It is starting and will accelerate very quickly, particularly once Congress gets sworn in and we're past this and past the mayoral election. You'll see all the candidates out in a vivid way, and you'll have plenty of time between now and 2020 to try and figure out.
I just worry about the party managing this. Because, you see it today around the Pelosi issue.
Yeah, but we'll get, but the desire to at least run the ship will overcome that, I think. You had a question?
Yeah, I know we spoke about Illinois and its issues and some ways that they might overcome that. But one of the things I'd like your opinion on is if you think the current governor will be able to bring the state together, the southern part of the state as well as the northern part of the state, and sort of treat us as one state. I know that's asking a lot, but we're talking about democracy here, and are we able to do such a thing? Because I think it's really important.
I think, one of the things Pritzker has is he's got a blank slate. He doesn't know anybody winning the election. So, and some of the signs I take as pretty good is, like putting Jim Edgar on his transition team. Shows a flexibility and a willingness to think about, actually running the state, not just, running out ideological promises of whatever sort. The problem, I had this problem with Ronner, I had this problem with Trump, and it's not just the ideological problems. In general, I don't like when someone starts at the top as chief executive and works their way down. I prefer someone who has been involved in government, been in the struggles, knows how the budget works, knows the legislative process and timetable. And so the downside for Pritzker is he doesn't have that experience. So it's who he surrounds himself with that is competent and knowledge and actually understands the real political world and the governmental world. But there's no reason he couldn't. It's just that, Trump didn't, Ronner didn't, lots of other examples, both Democrats and Republicans, who start at the top and figure they were good businessmen or whatever, and so they can certainly know how to run a little thing like a state or a nation. but it isn't true generally. So what I'm hoping is that Pritzker will have good people, because he needs advice on how to do this, because he doesn't know it firsthand. It's not that he doesn't know anything. He's been involved in some aspects of government, but they've been minor commissions and so forth, not running the whole state.
Dick, thank you so much. We
Glad to.
appreciate your
Okay.
time.
Thank you, Larry.
It's very, very informative. And I look forward to the next book.
Okay, me too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So does Pritzker have any relationship to Madigan?
Well, they're both